Fear of failure is quite an interesting topic. Most people don't like thinking about failure, let alone talking about it. But in fact, when I was young, I was not so much in fear of failure, but I was certain that whatever it is I would do, I would not succeed at, certainly not the first time, or the second time. Sometimes the third time I managed to make it. But I always assumed that I wouldn't do whatever it was I wanted to do, get into university or do this or do that. I always assumed I wouldn't do it the first time. It wasn't so much that I feared failure as that I expected it. And I don't know, there was something about me, I think, as a young man that seemed to attract failure. I remember when I was in the army, we all had to go in the army in those days, 2 years national service, and I was a second lieutenant, a young officer. And the report I got at the end of my career was, "This officer pushes doors marked pull." I've never forgotten that because I think it's actually quite amusing. But as I grew older, I failed less, I suppose, and after a bit I didn't think about failure because for the most part one wasn't failing very much. Not that success was very easy, but it was, it was more frequent than failure was. But I think that as I grew older still, one of the things that's emerged for me very, very clearly is that if you work on a job and it fails, if there's something about what you've done that is wrong and that doesn't work, you learn far, far more about what went wrong and how you can make it right than you do from a job that succeeded. Failure is very, very instructive. If you examine failure very carefully, I can think of 2 or 3 jobs in which I was involved where we didn't succeed in doing what we thought we were going to do. And we have always examined what went wrong, and we've learned a great deal from it. I actually, when I make speeches and lectures and all that kind of thing, I quite frequently talk about work that we've done or that I've been involved in that didn't succeed, that failed, and I talk about the lessons we learned from that. And naturally I go on to talk about another job we did where we took those lessons into account and it succeeded. That's the kind of thing one does. But I think it's a topic that's fascinating and that people avoid talking about and probably avoid thinking about.